what we want to be accomplishing with first timers in our studios is three major points. Number one, we want them to come back. We want them to have a great time and want to come take another workout with us. Number two, we want them to share their experience, not only with other people to spread the wealth and bring others into the studio, but also in the form of reviews, whether that's Google reviews, ClassPass reviews. And lastly, we want them to feel like part of the F45 Fit family from day one.
There is a couple different ways people can book into an F45 class. To start, the studio trialers, these are our royalty. These are the priority. Are the people most likely to join us on a membership? These are the people we really need to focus on. Someone who purchased a drop-in or a class pack, the goal with them is how do we convert them to a membership? They signed up for one or the other. We need to find out if we're local, and then we go from there. Are we coming once a week? Are we coming more than that? And try to bump them up to that unlimited membership, which is our gold standard. ClassPass, they purchase classes. Gym Pass, usually work pays for some of their membership, and then One Pass is through their health insurance. The goal for us is with ClassPass, how do we get them to use their credits with us, or how do we convert them? And then the other two is how do we get them to have a great experience and want to re-up with their Gym Pass or One Pass? And all three of these actually have really good opportunities to leave us reviews. They're prompted after class through their app to leave us reviews for the coach or the studio as a whole. So it's really important that we try to maintain the high star. 5 out of 5 is obviously the gold standard there. For Passport, we want to find out where they're coming from. Are they coming from another state? Are they coming from a studio local to us? That's not a CSG-owned studio. It's just good to know. We always want to show what's different about our studio. I want that to be the best class that they've ever taken if they've never been to the studio before. It's kind of a point of personal pride. This is how we do it over here. Studio tours. This is where they start their experience with F45, and you are the first face that they're going to see. All your managers are telling these green stars to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. We welcome them into the studio by name. You should know that they're coming, and we want to be standing when we do this. It's a really big deal that they know that we're putting the effort in. It's so simple. Stand. You could be waiting by the door. You could have the check-in ready. It's such an easy thing, but it makes a really big difference. We need their picture and waiver through MindBody. We then need to show them where the amenities are. Here's how we check in. Here's the bathroom. Here's the waters. Here's the sweat towels. The sweat towels are a really big deal because a lot of studios actually don't have them. So we need to make sure that they know that these are the things that they're going to expect and that they're going to receive at a Club Sports Group studio. We want to go over the movement TVs. Sometimes we forget that people have never been to an F45 before. I'm guilty of that. The timers, what's it mean when it's green? What does it mean when it's red? What does it mean when it's blue? We want to tell them what kind of workout they're here for, cardio, hybrid, or resistance. The format of the day, are we going racetrack? Are we in pods? Follow the leader? Lionheart TV, explaining the different zones to them, explaining that we have heart rate monitors. It's kind of what separates us from a lot of gyms. Non-negotiables. Do you have any injuries? We ask this so we can modify for them before class, and we don't have to think of something on the fly. When they get to that stage, they're like, oh, I have a shoulder injury. We want to know beforehand. What are you doing for fitness now? If they tell us they are at OTF or something along those lines, they will have a better understanding of what we're about to do in the studio. That's who we just need to show why we're different. They could also say, haven't worked out in 10 years, which is fine. We are just going to know how to cater towards them a little bit better now that we ask that super simple question. Asking their goals, it takes a lot for somebody to open up and really share that with you. Take that and understand how important that is. How did you hear about the studio? If they answer, I heard about the studio from someone, they're more likely to respond better to audio cues. So when you're cueing them during class and even after when you're price presenting, they're going to be more apt to go with something verbal. If they say, I saw something, they're more likely to respond to visual cues. So you might have to cue them by pointing or doing it on your own body so they can see it. And then when you price present, you might have to give them something to take with them or show them everything labeled out. Introduce them to someone who has been a member for a very long time, knows their way around the room, and is super positive. Because the person you're partnered with, all of us have taken F45 classes. Who you're partnered with makes a big difference. So making sure it's someone super positive is extremely important. Someone comes 5 minutes early, same thing. We're just going to cut it down a little bit. They get welcomed, pictures, waivers, movement TVs, and then it's the same questions. And then always, always, always that seasoned member. And then the last one is 0 to 1 minute early. I know it's super stressful when they come in, but they still do deserve the best class possible. First and foremost, that waiver needs to get signed. While they're warming up, we're asking those 4 questions, partner them up as soon as you can, and then make sure they know to stay for a cool down so they don't just run out of the room, because these are the people we really need to talk to after class.
Why is now the perfect time to join? We want everybody to feel like today is the best day. For the base phase, something about setting our foundations. You can go over those with them and talk about how we're going to be coaching up technique. If it's a build phase, talk about the well-balanced workouts. We're not pushing too hard on the strength days, focusing a lot on form. And then for the peak phase, you can talk about how we have assessments coming up. This is a great time for them to see where they're at, and then we'll be able to reassess during the next peak phase in the following 3 months. Talk about our weekly programming. Printing out a calendar, a weekly calendar. It's one thing to rattle off Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, our strength days. Show somebody that calendar, or even give it to them, like Jeremy said, for those visual learners. And refer back to their goals. If they're training for specific events, maybe they need a little extra resistance training. Maybe they need to be working up their cardio or endurance training. Long-term programming as well. So not only just phases, base, build, peak, but then 3 months make up a series, and we're going to be working these specific pull movements or these specific push movements. Also the challenges, right? It's a great time to point at your attendance boards in the studio and say, check out all of these people coming in every single day, these people who are so bought in. If you've got somebody nearby, maybe introduce them to a challenger, somebody who is already so invested in your program and your community. The other thing that I would say sets us apart from a Berries, from an Orange Theory, is that these people are coming in, they are talking, they are friends with each other, and they are going through the program together. Our workouts are partnered workouts, right? There's no mirrors. You're not locked into yourself. You're not putting in your own earbud. You have an opportunity to connect with somebody else, and that is something that's really special.
Whenever you have a green star in the studio, they are going to fit into one of many categories, but we've narrowed it down to 3. We have the newbie, the returner, and the athlete. All 3 of these people are able to take an F45 class because the programming is so adaptable. They all do require something a little bit different when we're coaching them. So for the newbie, could be their first time working out in their entire life. We had someone come in the other day. She turned 60. She said it was her first time ever working out in her entire life. That just takes so much courage to come in, especially at that age for the first time ever. So that person is the most important person in the room that day, and that's okay. We need to stay with them for at least the first set at each new station. So say you have 1 set at each station, 3 laps around, you're pretty much staying with them for the majority of that first lap. We make sure that they're having the best experience possible. Hopefully they come in early so we can go over all the options and modifications with them before class. So it's a little bit of an easier transition for them. The returner. This is someone who used to work out a lot, but hasn't in a few months or even years. The goal for them is to gain their trust back and their confidence. These people might be a little timid at first just because they haven't worked out in a little while, or they might try to do too much and think they are still able to do the things they used to do. We need to keep an eye on them while maintaining distance, but also getting in there and making sure their form's perfect, because confidence is everything. When we have somebody come back from, say, an injury, or somebody cancel their membership and come back, just makes me so happy that they thought about us to come back to. So the returner has a special place in my heart. The athlete, they might have been doing F45 for years. They could be doing any other fitness program for years. They know what's going on. We need to challenge them with our programming without overdoing it. Think pulses, pauses, and holds. Over the last 3+ years of being here, the workouts have gotten significantly harder, and the programming has gotten so much better. The stigma that the workouts are too easy is not a thing anymore. Everyone has heavier weights. Some studios even have functional racks. So we're really getting rid of that stigma, which I'm super pumped about.
So there is nothing worse than coaching the best class of your life and then letting this first timer walk out the door without touching base with them. Guide them to give you positive feedback about what they just experienced. Wasn't that a great class? Coach Greg is amazing. He's one of our best trainers, right? These are all things that you can say to lead them to that positive rather than just, how'd you like it? Or how'd it go, right? They're going to be feeling fatigued. They're going to be feeling tired. Always start with the positive. Prescribe a routine. Taking yourself back to those 4 initial questions that you started off with. What are they training for? Why are they here? And when should they be coming in? If you give them a really clear idea of that, they're more likely to stick to it and go with your recommendation. Always remember, you are the expert of the craft. We want to book their next class. If they were here for strength, give them a cardio recommendation, give them a hybrid recommendation. I've had people that have come in their first month, 2, 3 months, never take a cardio class because they say, oh, I can do cardio by myself at XYZ gym. And really what they're talking about is they're going to go run on a treadmill for 30 minutes. But The things you can speak to are they training the agility? Are they training the up and down? Are they training the side to side? I personally, our cardio classes are some of my favorite because of the variety of moves that we're doing. So highly recommend that you talk that up.
Price presenting. No matter what membership somebody comes in on, the goal is to get them to an unlimited. The more you believe in the product, the easier it is to sell. I know I am helping them live a better life. Fitness is so essential to everything. The longer you're going to live, they're going to be able to play with their grandkids. These are the things that make selling an F45 membership so easy. Some of us have different setups in the studio. Sales managers, whoever is in the studio, as many people as there are, decide who's going to talk to the Green Star or Kryler after class. If it's pre-planned, it's more likely to go better than trying to figure it out last minute during a scramble. Bring back the goals and the program that we talked about. So after you make the program for someone that you guys decided on 4 days a week is going to be best, that fits with our unlimited membership. If someone's like, oh, my schedule, then we can bump down to the twice a week or whatever other options that we have. But like I said, the goal is always going to be unlimited. If they see that app on their phone, they're more likely to be booked into their next class, first of all. And if they don't get booked in with us, they have a way to do it. Their app also isn't fully functional until they have an active membership option. Telling them that, it's kind of pushes them to get the full use of the app. The app is also a great way to talk about the challenge. It has nutrition advice on it. You could show them the at-home workouts. There's so much on that app that people don't utilize, and showing them on their first day, it just builds more for the brand. Positivity is so contagious. So if you have a good attitude about it, they're going to want to come back. You're the first face that they're meeting, and we want that experience to be as good as possible. So it all starts with you.